Hi everyone, this video is on exercise 12G question 3. So we want to show that f of x is decreasing for all values of x. So if we want to show a function that's decreasing, we first need to find the first derivative in most of the cases. And as long as we can show that the value of the first derivative is always less than or equal to 0 for the given domain of x, then that's basically the proof of a function being decreasing. So in this case, we first need to find the first derivative, but let's expand the bracket here. So we have 4 minus 2x cubed minus 3x, and now let's differentiate this. So it is equal to 4 differentiates to 0 minus 6x squared minus 3. Now, here is the part that we should be very careful, because first of all, remember that all the values of x are basically real numbers. So that means any value, this function, which is, the derivative function, which is f dash x, which is minus 6x squared minus 3. This must be less than or equal to 0 for all the values of x in order for it to be a decreasing function. Now we need to show, okay, how's that possible? So here we just need to think a bit maybe outside of the box, because we don't need to do any sort of calculation, but the only thing that we should realize is that no matter what the input value for x is, because x is a real number, but whatever the input is, x squared makes that positive, right? So if x squared is always positive, no matter the value of x, then minus 6 times a positive number is always a negative number. And then you also have a negative 3 at the end, which makes this even more negative. So all we need to mention here is that we just need to say x squared is always greater or equal to um, less than or equal, yeah, x squared is always greater or equal to 0. So maybe it's better to write in this form. So x squared is always greater or equal to 0 for all values of x that are real number, and minus 6x squared is always negative, right? It's always less than or equal to 0. So therefore minus 6x squared minus 3 is less than or equal to 0 for all values of x. For all values of x that are real numbers. Yes, so this is a very common approach to these types of questions. So you first find the first derivative, and then you just try to show that if it's about the decreasing function, you just try to show that this function is always negative, gives you a negative output. Or if it's about increasing functions, then you always try to show that this function gives you a positive output. Yeah. All right. So that's it for this video, and thank you for watching.